Thank you for coming. I'm Philip Foust, Republican candidate for Marion County Prosecutor, and I urge the City-County Council to pass an enhanced curfew this evening. Indianapolis has a juvenile crime crisis, and we cannot ignore it. We are seeing teenagers carjacking, teenagers in car chases, teenagers shooting at police, teenagers killing and being killed. This is not a trend we can afford to overlook. If you want to see the future of a city, look at the crimes being committed by her juveniles today. Right now, that picture is alarming. I fully support the strengthened curfew and, just as importantly, strict enforcement of it. Curfews set clear expectations, they create accountability, and they give us a chance to intervene before more serious crimes occur. But we all know that is not enough. No one who is serious about public safety believes that this curfew alone will end this crisis. It's just one tool to keep a lid on the problem. Ignoring or downplaying the reality of juvenile crime doesn't help anyone. Not past future victims, not future victims, not the public. And pretending these offenders are just misunderstood victims doesn't help them either. The absolute worst thing we can do for a juvenile offender is to convince them they are the victim and their actions don't have consequences. IMPD is doing their part, but Ryan Mears has repeatedly chosen to work against law enforcement and other public safety partners. As prosecutor, I will have their backs, and I will face juvenile crime head on. Real standards, real consequences, and accountability for parents if necessary. We owe it to our neighborhoods to restore order. Criminals have been coddled at the expense of law-abiding victims for long enough. And we owe it to our young people to set boundaries that keep them on the right path. What we're doing now is failing everyone: the public, past and future victims, and the juvenile offender. Our best chance at redirecting juvenile offenders is to hit them with swift and severe consequences much earlier in their criminal careers, before their crimes escalate. It's not normal or acceptable to hear gunshots ring out on Monument Circle. But unfortunately, that is the direct result of failed leadership from the Marion County Prosecutor. Indy deserves better for your children and mine. I've prosecuted juvenile offenses, I've worked with at-risk youth, and unlike Ryan Mears, I'm less concerned about chasing the latest political trends and more concerned about future victims, justice, and seeking the truth. I'll take your questions.
Bill, I'm going to do one the first question is it sort of one strike you're out, two strikes you're out, three strikes you're out? That's the first part. Number two, are there any consequences for parents?
Okay, that's a two-part question there, Abdul. First, obviously, there has to be room for discretion and judgment in the justice system. But we know that our best chance of redirecting youth is after their first crime. If we go ahead and let them get used to ever-increasing punishments, they will get used to it just like a boiling pot, and we won't have any results. So much earlier on, swift and severe consequences, and that's the best opportunity to redirect juvenile offenders.
What about the parents?
Yes, there have to be consequences for parents.
What would you say to people that say Indianapolis is slashing social programs that involve children and families and that's the reason for the crime? We've heard that excuse.
Yeah. No doubt there are contributing factors like poverty, like the breakdown of the family, that have a huge impact on a juvenile's trajectory. But juvenile offenders are not served by pity, and those factors do not excuse criminal behavior.
Consequences for parents brings it
Well, it has to be taken on a case-by-case basis. We do have truancy laws. We also have neglect of a dependent. So you can see that they would run the spectrum depending on the degree of the behavior that the juvenile was undertaking and the degree of the negligence on the part of the parent.
Can you explain what the justice system allows for Marion County prosecutors to do currently with teenagers who are tried or convicted of serious crimes that aren't murder? How long do they go to jail? A lot of people are confused. We don't even know their identity half the time.
Right. It's a significant problem that we don't have as great insight as we would like into juvenile cases. There obviously are privacy concerns. I've prosecuted juvenile cases, and I understand firsthand that there's a significant difference between what we're doing in this county and others. We are doing them a significant disservice by treating them like they are the victim and that their actions don't have consequences. There are real consequences that need to come to bear, and I would bring them.
So also,
yes, sir.
When you talk about curfew and juveniles, there's a string of thought out there that basically says they don't want black kids downtown and putting the curfew laws as a way to keep black people in their neighborhoods. And how do you respond to that?
Well, that's just nonsense. You can look at the real evidence. Go look at the headlines for the last year that you all have been putting out. This isn't about race. This is about protecting young people and protecting people from young people.
So what do you want to see tonight happen? Is something actionable happening with the council? And if so, what is that? What do you think about that?
Yes. Proposal 99 is up for a vote this evening. It is at the request of Chief Terry, and I back her up on that. We need to have the enhanced curfew passed tonight.